Hey, welcome to this tutorial on Whiteboard.fi. So you get to Whiteboard.fi just as the name would indicate. You go open up a browser, Chrome works great, Whiteboard.fi, and you get here and you see this. This is a cool tool. It's entirely free. It doesn't require any login information. A teacher can come in, click New Class, and a join code appears, or you can drop a link into a Zoom or Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, whatever your video conferencing chat area of choice is. But you can drop that link down there or just give them the code, and they will go to whiteboard.fi, click join class, and put the code in. Again, no login information for the students. So this is quite nice. What it is Whiteboard.fi is a series. So it's like, imagine it's the digital equivalent of you having a whiteboard and all your students having a whiteboard. They can see your whiteboard, they can see their whiteboard, but they can't necessarily see other whiteboards. So there's some privacy here. If you as a teacher want to screen share and show everybody's whiteboard, you could do that, but one of the nice features in Whiteboard.fi is you can flip off the names so that you can hide the names so that students have some privacy. So if you want to share out what people are doing, but not necessarily who is doing what, that's a nice option. So let me show you how easy it is to set up a Whiteboard.fi class. I'm here in Chrome browser. I'm going to click the new class. It asks me to put what do I want to be called, so I can put my name up here. There are some different settings, and you can change these on the fly. Enable a waiting room lobby, enable image upload for students. By default, that's turned off. There are some performance kinds of things. If things are running a little laggy or slow, you can turn off some features that'll make it go faster. So down here at the bottom, that's it. You click the new class button, you put your name in it, you click create new class, and you are up and running. So this is the teacher interface. Notice right here, you can grab that, copy it, and paste it into your Zoom chat or what have you, and the students can click it and they will join the class, and it'll ask them to put their name in it. It does ask them to put their name in it, so you might need to coach your students about appropriate names. If they want credit, I usually tell them you need to have your first name in there. And again, you can hide names. So when somebody has joined your class, you'll see the whiteboards all appear here, kind of like a gallery. And so let's see what that looks like. On another device, I'm going to go to join class. I'm going to join with the join code in this case, and it's going to ask me for a name. Okay, so I will use Justin as my example name here today. And notice a whiteboard showed up here with the student name underneath it. Just up here, there's a cog. If you don't want, if you're screen sharing and you don't want student names to be seen, you can toggle names on and off. For the demonstration purposes, I'm going to leave it on so you can see that it's the student. If we click over here on the right, we get our whiteboard. So this teacher whiteboard, all students will have a button that toggles to the teacher whiteboard, so they're seeing it and they can toggle back to their whiteboard. So those are the two things that a student sees. Teachers can ask questions either verbally. So for instance, let's say that we're asking a question verbally and want our students to record it. We could say, okay, students, I would like you guys to show me, write down 4 times 5 equals, and then put the correct answer to the right of the equal sign. So on their device, they could write in their whiteboard, and if they're using touch screens, it's nice. If they're using touch pads, they'll have to kind of get used to it. It is harder to draw some numbers than others. As you can see with my 2 and my 0, it's kind of squiggly, but and it takes a little bit for it to update, but it updates pretty quickly. So there's 4 times 5 equal 20. Okay, and so you can click inside to sort of zoom in on your student and see your student's whiteboard there. You can save the whiteboard, erase the whiteboard, push the teacher whiteboard to other students if you wanted to share it so that other students could see it. You could kick the student if it's inappropriate, and you can close this screen. It still keeps the thumbnail of, in this case, Justin's whiteboard here. Other options up in the cog up here, you do have clear all whiteboards, so you can forcefully clear all whiteboards when you're ready to kind of move on to the next question. So I'm going to go ahead and click clear all whiteboards to demonstrate that. It takes about a second or so, and you can see any of the students that were logged in would be, their whiteboard would be cleared. So let's go into our whiteboard. Another scenario might be, if you want to click on your whiteboard, is that you want to actually write out the problem and have them write the answer out. So let's say we're going to do a lesson involving graphing points. So in the the first quadrant, the positive quadrant here, the plus quadrant, just so you know under actions you can push out your whiteboard to them. So you can set the problem up, push it to them, and it'll make a copy on their whiteboard, and then they're able to do the math. So you can set up the problem basically, and if it's something like graphing points, it might be worthwhile to do that. You can flatten items or flatten layers into the background item. There's a small grid, a large grid, and there are some math tools. There's an editor here, and then you can go into the LaTeX code if you're familiar and comfortable with that. For this demo, I'm going to go ahead and choose small grid. So you can see it's created a grid here. I'm just going to use my pencil and I'm going to use blue ink here kind of in order to, and we'll draw the y-axis, and then over here we'll draw our x-axis, and we'll say, okay, graph the point 3, 4. Okay. Now let's say we want to push this out to our students so that they just need to graph it, right? We've created the x and the y and we want them to graph that point. Well, here we can click actions, and when we click actions and push it to all students, what you'll see is that the problem is now there for them, and if you zoom in you can see it's still got the graph paper and everything. So you can be like, okay students, let's graph that point, right? So if they go on and they count over 1, 2, 3 and up 1, 2, 3, 4, they can draw the point, and then they can label it right with their 3, 4, their coordinated pair, and you will be able to see that as they're working on it. And again, you can zoom in and take a look to verify. So great for math formative assessments. It's a wonderful tool. I'm going to click close here, and I think that's going to conclude this tutorial on Whiteboard.fi. Remember, 3 simple steps. Go to Whiteboard.fi, click new class, type in your name, click create new class, and then have your students either use the link or the code in order to join up, and then you are off and running with your own individual whiteboards. I encourage you to check it out. Thanks for your time and attention. I'll see you in the next video.